Well, welcome in,
You go ahead,
everybody.
fella.
Yeah. My name is Mike Pelletier. I'm the marketing director here at Spotlight Marketing and Branding. As you guys are filtering in, go ahead and say hey, or say where you're tuning in from, what practice area you are involved with, in the chat. This is Eddie Dzialo. He is well, you know what? I'll let him go ahead and say his piece. Go ahead, Eddie.
Well, thanks. I will add on to the fact that if you are in the chat, just let us know where you're at, what your name is, and what your practice area is, and what city you're from. And the other thing too is the thing that I mess up all the time on these things. There's a little blue button at the bottom says host or to everyone. I always hit the host one. That is wrong. You want to hit the everyone button so everyone can see it, unless you just want to talk to us specifically. But to answer Mike's question, I am Eddie DiZallo. I'm the senior marketing strategist at Spotlight Marketing and Branding. If you ever needed any sort of help in how to solve problems, fix big goals for the future, I mean, I'm the guy you talk to. So anytime you book a call with anybody, it's about like marketing and branding. It'll come to me first, and I'll be happy to talk to you. But I'll be here with Mike talking about trust and trust signals today on our webinar.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are ready, go ahead and hit a one in the chat and I'll get this thing rolling. Just a quick one to see if everyone's ready to go. The
I,
audio sounds good, the video is good.
I threw a one in there.
Eddie's ready to go. So we
Hey, Cheryl,
got
hey,
Arab.
Lucy, Maria, Paula.
Yep.
A lot of names I recognize. I love it.
All right, cool. Let me share my screen
Aram,
here. All right. You guys good? You guys can see the screen, the sharing and all that?
looking good, Mikey.
Cool. All right. And Eddie, I don't have my chat up, so just in case anyone pops
Oh,
into
yeah.
there,
No
yeah,
worries.
you got this. You
I
got
got
this.
you.
All right. So why clients don't choose your law firm and how to fix it. Presented by yours truly, Mike and Eddie.
That's us.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I gotta do
Yeah,
that
you got to
thing.
get the
There we
next
go.
slide. Let's get the next
Yeah.
slide.
There we go. Off to a hot start. All right. So why did they hire another law firm? I mean, that's like, it can be such an annoyance when you do all the things that it's like you're having, these conversations or they showed interest and then they suddenly just ghost, right? And like you think that they're a very qualified, hot lead, as they would say in the industry, right? And then they just go, you know, they just disappear essentially. Um, so like the biggest struggle that a lot of law firms that we have worked with or have talked to have experienced is that you can have in your law firm you can have more experience, you can have better credentials, you can have better reviews and better results and still lose the client. Still, after all that, you had years of experience. You had done A, Z, B, X, M, Q, all the things. You got reviews, you got results, and still nothing. Why? Why?
I still
It's a
think
big,
that's a cat, but I mean, it's fine if that's a monkey, but it's all right.
it's supposedly a monkey. But so today we're gonna explore exactly like why this happens. It's a psychological thing. So I'm very excited to kind of get into this. It's very fundamental too, but we're gonna talk about it in a way that honestly I don't see it talked about this way a lot. It's
No.
very just like cut and dry, like, oh, if they don't feel this way, then that's it. But it's like we're gonna get into the weeds of it. So I'm excited here.
And
All
the good
right.
news is we're going to tell you how to fix it. I mean, this is
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, this is very fixable, and it's a mindset, it's a technique, and we're going to show you very specific steps on how to do this. But all right, this is the gap that most law firms never see. Okay, here's the deal: is that and if you're an attorney, and I think the majority of them, especially the ones I've talked to, I've been in legal marketing for 5 years now. I've spoken to probably thousands. Most attorneys believe that their prospective new clients, the P&Cs, are looking for the most qualified lawyer. And I mean, that seems like a very obvious answer, like the most qualified always wins. Now, and you can see the breakdown of this and why this is not necessarily the case is to the degree that you probably think it is because we can learn a lot about your perspective and whether or not you are connecting with the client based on your About Me page. Now, if you go to your About Me page, there's going to be a list of accomplishments, credentials, jobs that you've held, educational background. And for most attorneys, their CV is enough to break somebody in half. I mean, they're an accomplished group. They're competitive. They've had a lifetime of academic success, and there's a laundry list there. However, like I said, usually they think that is enough. That is enough to win them over. Personally, and again, I think this is gonna resonate with your clients too, especially if you're a family law attorney. When I needed a divorce attorney 5, 6 years ago, the first person I called was my brother. My brother's a corporate attorney in Boston, which, by the way, is still the greatest city in the world. You're welcome to type another city in the chat if you think it's better than Boston, but I mean, I still hold firm on that one. But when I called my brother, he gave me a name and I called that attorney immediately. I worked with this attorney for months. I never once saw his website. Now, I don't want you to do your thing. You don't need a website because that's not true. This is a rare instance. So, why in this rare instance did I commit to this without ever looking at credentials, without looking at a website, without looking at anything? Is because the tremendous, tremendous, tremendous amount of trust that I have in my brother's judgment outweighed anything I could have possibly seen on an attorney's website. That is genuine. So, it began, my path to working with him began and ended with a certain level of trust. Now, this is Eddie's tip number one. I'll throw at least three in here for the day. If you
Oh,
do
wow.
stay on, at least three. So if you stay on top of mind with your referral sources, like through avenues like newsletters and social medias, you're also going to get the type of referrals that I got from my brother. These are the ones you want. So, but side note, so just imagine your PNCs don't have that level of trust going into their search process. The best case scenario is someone referred to, like you have a client, their brother referred them, they walk into a high level of trust, 85, 95% committed before they even hit the button. They're ready to go. Now, prospective clients, if they don't have that level of trust, again, it's ideal, but if they don't have that, and that's going to be the more common situation for you, is PNCs are actually looking for the best client for their particular situation, not the best attorney that fixes their problem. I mean, it sounds familiar, but this is very different. And attorneys evaluate lawyers based on expertise. I mean, again, like I said, lawyers have a long history of academic professional success, and it's okay, and you don't have to admit it, but you've likely sized up another attorney through their accomplishments and educational background too. I mean, it's a competitive industry. Nothing wrong with that. However, that's always going to be present. But don't let that competitiveness that you might feel with another attorney and how to beat out other attorneys bleed into your desire or need to win over a PNC. Prospective clients are going to evaluate lawyers based on trust. This is the main reason why referrals are gold. I mean, because they're walking in with the high level of trust. Though trust can begin, or maybe even like start or sprinkled in with your credentials and accomplishments, that is not where you're going to make the most progress with them. You're going to get the most bang for your buck and other elements of that. You have to connect with them with where they are. And we're going to go over how that happens in these later slides and what sort of marketing strategies you do to create that level of trust. So when someone goes to your website, they're 85, 95% committed before they ever see anything. And everything they see on your website, if it's your academic background, your CV, whatever, it's only going to do to further their belief that this is the right person for me. But you have to start with that trust level and how to convey that. And the firms that understand this gap are going to have the most success. I mean, just another side note, the most successful firms I've seen a lot of times are estate planning firms with webinars or in-person events, is because once they have that in-person event, there's a lot of trust building right there. Most people walk out with 30. I mean, if they have 100 people on a webinar or 100 people, I'm just using easy numbers. Most attorneys are going to walk out about 30 new clients, about 1 out of 3, especially if they can convince them because they've gone back and forth. They've built that trust. And that's the way it works. So the firms that understand that gap have a major advantage. That's it. That's what I got for you, Mikey.
Cool. Absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
back to you, Eddie.
Always. All right. How clients decide who the best attorney is. We throw this word best around. I mean, so, and I want to identify what best is. I mean, and the honesty here is that prospective clients usually cannot objectively evaluate legal expertise. That is a very important item to differentiate. Depending on your practice area or the areas, depending on who you are, you're going to be dealing with the wide range of people. I mean, think about it: criminal law, family law, estate planning, personal injury. These encompass a very, very diverse background of people and experiences. I mean, especially with estate planning, anybody that's 18 or older needs an estate plan. Obviously the difference between a 68-year-old and an 18-year-old are going to differ in need, but not kind. But this is a good time for Eddie tip number two. Spend a lot of time identifying who your target demographic is, who your ideal client is, what they need, and where they hang out before you ever start marketing. I have done this with clients before they even started working with us. And I mean, if you ever do decide to call me, and I would love to talk with you, I would be happy to help you do this for anyone else in this webinar and throughout. So identify your ideal client, identify where they hang out, understand who they are. And then, but most clients just don't know enough about the law to truly determine about the best attorney. They see Latin, they see the letter V. I mean, they see where you've been and where you've gone to school. But what are they looking for? Not so much that. They're looking for signals. And what these signals are is going to help them determine whether they are going to trust you. Now, let's go. Imagine you're a family law attorney and a prospective client sees your Facebook ad and then goes to your website. Okay. What do you think is going to be a better way to win them over? That you went to Cornell. Hey, no disrespect to Big Red, because I actually went there for 3 whole weeks and eventually ended up in Iraq, but I'm happy to elaborate on that story at a different time. Or, now, okay, they saw that you went to Cornell, Big Red, or they saw a video of you on your website, well dressed, approachable, and explaining the answer to the question that's keeping them up at night. And if you're a family law attorney, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For example, am I going to lose my children? If I'm 68 years old and I see long-term care in my urgent future, and I realize it's $12,000 a month, how am I going to afford this? Am I going to lose my house? These are the questions that these people have, and this is the type of thing that builds trust far more than where you went to school. So once that trust is established, your experience, your credentials, your reviews, and they're always important. Those results are going to become more persuasive. They're going to add to the trust. They're going to further reevaluate that this is the person for me. I'm close, but it makes me feel even better that they went to Cornell. I've seen my answer on their website. I've seen my biggest concern written in a blog on their website. I see them talking on social media about family law and divorce cases and how it's not the end of the world. I'm trusting this person. Credentials get you incremental changes beyond that. This is why, I mean, truly why, when you have two equally qualified attorneys, they can produce very different outcomes. Is one focusing on the client? Are they building the right sort of trust signals in order to get them there? All right. And what else do you have on this one, Mike?
Well, I was just gonna say it just absolutely reinforces what we already know and what you mentioned earlier about referrals, like why referrals are gold. Like it's not just like the fact that like, oh, like, it's a quick little handoff of a former client to now a new client kind of thing. Like that's
Yep.
great, this speeds up the process. But under everything, the underlying thing under everything with referrals is that these people now think that like everything that you do because they have a good level of trust for you
Yep.
right off the rip because they were referred, they think that everything that you do and produce, even though it's great, is much better than what it is. Like, not saying it's bad at all. I'm not trying to,
No, it
diminish
started
anyone's
high. You're right.
accomplishments. But it's just that trust just absolutely psychologically just makes people think like, oh my gosh, like, this person did this. Like, hey, my lawyer went to Cornell. Hey, what did your lawyer do? Mine went to Harvard. Okay, but mine went to Cornell. You know, yeah, simple as that. Simple as that. All right. I think this is you again, Eddie. Yeah, this is.
Always. I'm on a roll here. There's no
Yeah.
worries. If you get bored with anything that I'm saying, or if you have any questions, if I'm talking fast, I'm from New England. If I'm going too fast, if I'm saying something or I'm abbreviating
Well,
or talking, oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, well, let's pull the room. Are you guys, does this make sense to everybody? Is this like type of one in the chat if this makes sense? Type of two if you're a little bit unsure, and type of three if it's just like I don't know what's going on right now. So one is yes, this is making sense. The two
Love you,
is not
Paula. Love you, Lucy. Love you,
not so
Maria.
sure. And
It's
three is
okay if
like,
it's a
yeah.
two. It's okay if it's a two. It's
Yeah.
okay if it's a three. I'm completely okay. No worries. And
You'll
but
have
no,
to
yeah,
tell me the chat. Is there threes in the chat, Eddie?
they're not where we hit straight ones. I mean, which is kind of nice. I mean, I'm not used to this, especially when we work together. But I think back in our podcasting days, we can relive that later. But no worries. So, all right. So this one, I mean, all right, here we go. Trust changes how clients interpret everything. It's everything Mike just elaborated on. I mean, it's the filter in which they're going to see you. It's the filter in which your credentials shine even brighter than what they already are. So I said most law firms are going to assume that trust is something that's added on the top of experience credentials, when in fact it's the exact opposite. All right. So in reality, trust is going to change how people interpret experience and credentials. Exactly what Mike said. So think about this through the example that I just gave. I mean, you can see how the video of you on a website, how it highlights you, your personality, your mannerisms, how approachable you are, is going to enhance your academic and professional CV. I would rather be in a room with someone I'm comfortable with than someone who has better credentials. And that is the thing. And I mean, lawyers and marketers definitely carry a serious reputation. I mean, lawyers, I mean, they're intimidating. I've been around them for 5 years and I'm still somewhat intimidated by them. I mean, but so you want to see that the facade that I've had of lawyers of being intimidating or being sharks is mostly it's imaginary. And these things can break and these things can shatter in things like videos. But also in my original example of how I chose an attorney because I had called my brother, I mean, seeing his credentials, assuming that I'd ever looked at them, but never did, would only have reinforced my decision to hire that person. It wasn't where my commitment was coming from. I was hiring that attorney regardless of anything I saw on his website. That's the only reason I didn't look. So there will be cases like that with you if you have that high degree of trust going in, but a lot of times you're going to have to earn it. That's a rare scenario. So you're going to have to earn it going in. And that's why two attorneys will have two identical qualifications and receive completely different reactions from a PNC. Like, so when trust is high, the trust is high, and you can use me as the perfect example of going in because of my brother. People view the information more favorably. It's a bias. It's going to go. You're going to see it. They're going to. It's going. They want to hire you at that point. They want more evidence to prove their idea that they've chosen the right person. Conversely, when trust is low, people become very skeptical. They start questioning things they otherwise would have accepted. And that's just the reality. I mean, the facts don't change, your website doesn't change. The interpretation of what they're seeing will change based on perspective. But yeah, what do you think,
Yeah,
Mike?
and I think that from everything we're talking about this in the next slide, but from everything that is done, like there's just that they keep until they fully trust you, they're gonna keep questioning themselves to ensure that like yes, this is the right decision. This is I'm going down the right path. Because like how many times like I mean I've worked just personally, I've worked with companies where it's like their support system is terrible, right? And at the end of the day, like
Good
I'm just like
example.
I'm questioning like, do I even want to work with this company? Or if I'm already, in it with this company, do I want to keep working with this company? And then and now I'm looking for every out,
Yep,
to get out of that, working with that company, right? For internet or something like that, right? Maybe something better comes by and it's a little bit more expensive, right?
yeah,
And there is, I have been, working with company B for a while and, I've been there and I feel a bit more comfortable, I guess you could say, just in the process, but the
exactly.
trust is off a little bit. So the
Yep,
first chance that I get where it's just like they do something wrong or company A has some sort of promotion that like lessens their cost, I'm out the door and I'm like, no,
you're right.
I'm gonna switch. Like it's that same kind of thing. Like it's
You're
just
right.
that's all it comes down to, really. Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's kind of like what I said before. So clients are judging things you might even not realize that they are judging, right? Like the things that how quickly you respond to a phone call, an email. That's why intake is so important for
Ooh,
law
good word.
firms because especially with like personal injury, right? Where it's like I need someone now, right?
Yeah,
But also even with people that are just simply they're looking around like for estate planning, right? They're just looking around to see, okay, who do I trust to, do my estate for me? Um, it might not have to be like right away, like oh, they want someone like right away, but whoever gets to them first essentially is going to win more times than not, right?
yeah.
Um, how easy you are to understand. We talk about this all the time where it's like a lot of law firms will create blogs or content where they're speaking in legalese. They're using these terms, and it's like you gotta think from your audience perspective. They don't know what's, I mean, for the most part, they don't know what you're talking about. They just want to know that the problem they have can be solved. And if you
Mhm.
can put it in simple terms for them, like that's just it's not necessarily bringing them up, right? It's you're kind of like meeting halfway, right? Where you're giving them
Yep.
the expertise, but you're just using their terms, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, how your staff sounds on the phone. I mean, that's another thing with intake, right? Like if someone calls up your office and the receptionist is not a nice person or is having a bad day and that really shows through the phone, like that's obviously not going to be a good first impression. We talk about first impressions in life with everything. Whether your website feels modern, are you actually like putting the work into your business, right? That actually has an underlying effect. Like, does this person actually like care about their law firm, right? Like, are you updating your stuff, your social media? Are you updating your website? Whether your emails feel personal, this one's a little bit harder because a lot of times, like you might just want to send it out to everybody kind of thing. But if you can like make them personal, maybe to like maybe just send each individual lead, depending on how many leads I guess you have. But maybe start from the best leads, right? Qualify your best leads and then work your way down and make this a little bit personal. You can have templates. Like we're not saying don't have templates, but there's always a little way to make it personal, right? Maybe you talked about sports on the phone the first time they called or something like that. Bring that up again, something like that. Use your notes, right? Um, Whether your process feels organized, this kind of goes back to like the whole, do they feel like you care about your business, your law firm, right? Because a lot of times if they don't feel like you care about your firm, how are you going to care about them? You know, um, whether they feel comfortable asking questions. We'll talk about later about like the video FAQs and how this actually plays into it. Because I won't spoil it. We'll talk about it later. Um, and whether they feel understood. Do you get them? Do you understand what they're going through? Can you help them? We talk all the time about when you're creating content, you want to take the questions that you are getting asked most of the time
Yeah.
and use that for your content.
Yep.
Just because that's what they want the entire process, who knows everything A to Z now. But everyone else is somebody new. They're on a different level. They don't know the things that your other clients know. And so you gotta be mindful of that. There's actually psychological terms for these things. The first one is the halo effect. I think this is very close to what most people know as the confirmation bias, which is positive trust signals make your experience, credentials, reviews, and results feel more valuable. This is what we were talking about before.
Yep.
If you can gain somebody's trust, doesn't matter if you have the same or less, quote unquote, less credentials or experience in other law firms, that doesn't matter. Everything is magnified for them. And they're like, this is like I said before. Oh, my lawyer went to Cornell. Oh, my lawyer went to Harvard, but my lawyer went to Cornell, right? That sort of thing. But there is the opposite, all right, which is called the horn effect. And the horn effect is negative trust signals can cause prospective clients to question your expertise, credentials, reviews, and results. So
Yep.
just the opposite. If you do something, I mean, it depends on where you are in the process, right? If you do something at the beginning of the process that makes them question your like the trust that they have or question you at all, everything has like the opposite effect. I don't care he went to Cornell. I don't trust him. I don't care he went to Harvard. I don't trust him. And plus, this could happen during the process too. So it's something that you just got to be mindful of throughout the entire process. Like you could be, they could be coming in for a consultation into your office, right? And maybe there's something happens. I don't know. Maybe something was slipped through the cracks and they don't have a really good experience. If they were already on the fence before, they're definitely off the fence in the opposite way.
Yeah.
Now they're like, just not looking good. There are more people, I will say, this needs to be an asterisk. There are more people that are more trusting than others, just naturally. They just tend to trust people more than other people do. But at the end of the day, it's all we're all looking. We are a as comfortable as we may be in life with all of our technology and all that, we are still to our core, we are still a human species that are worried about survival, and because of that, there's certain factors like trust that are just built into us. Yeah. All
One of
right.
the greatest. Oh, you got to go back. We got to give them the other tip. I mean, it just you inspired another one. So that like we had a webinar a few months back with Danny, and Danny, the greatest tip by the interviewee. I'm blanking on his name, and I hate myself for it. But he was talking about building the sales environment, building a good feeling when you walk into a law firm. Do you know what tip I'm about to give? Do you remember which one? Like the one that blew up, everyone wanted it, and everyone loved it. Even Danny
Talking
loved it. Do
about
you remember
baking
what?
the cookies.
You nailed it, buddy. And
Yeah.
so they gave a tip. It's like in your law, in your law firm. I mean, throw a cookie into a toaster and get the smell of like warm cookies. I mean, and that people were actually doing this. When in the office in Charlotte, we joked around about doing this, and it seemed like it bought on pretty well. But it's just this entire idea of creating the scenario and the feeling. Now, I'm not saying cookies equate to trust, but it does create to the environment you're trying to create. And when you start thinking on that level of creating the warm cookie smell when they walk into an office and the feeling and the comfort they get. And it's that's the sort of mindset we're talking about here. But yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I had to throw out
Yeah,
the
there's
cookie one. People love the cookie one.
oh
I
yeah, and there's a lawyer who I've gotten to know over the past few years. Her name is Lysandra Matos. She's out in Colorado, I believe. And her firm, she decided that her firm was going to be her own version of Disney World. So she was just going to be absolutely everything about family. So that's her thing, and it's worked very well for her. So like when people come in, they feel like this is a place for families. Like it's not just like strictly about business. Like they come in and there's like a area for kids to play while the adults are talking, kind of thing.
Wow.
There's treats, snacks, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, all these things kind of factor right into that. But
Where'd you go to
yes,
college?
where'd she go to college?
Yeah. You have
Man,
no idea, but you remember
I
the
have no
fact that
idea.
she, but you remember the fact that she how she they have a watch area for children that she monitors mimics Disney World, that sort of environment and friendly environment. I mean, we'll remember those things longer than credentials. Like those are the types of things that get remembered.
So, and I haven't even been to that law firm. I just know her through connections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. All right,
All
Eddie, this
right, we're
one's
gonna
you.
but before we get practical, you ready? All right. So I will point out. Ooh, this rose there. Hold on. You want to talk about the free offer right now?
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a free offer with this. I've hit this a couple of times as we've been talking throughout. I've been mentioning videos a couple of times. It was very intentional. Videos are an incredible way of letting a prospective client see who you are, meet you on their terms. You can strengthen a bond without even having to spend your time. So what we are offering, you book a call with us and you end up signing up, become one of our clients, choose any of our packages. We're going to do the videos for you for free. We will hire the videographer. We'll eat the cost. We'll send the videographer to your office. We will film at least 15 FAQ videos you can post on your website. We'll make sure you have access to them. If you, we can use them in social media. We can create them. I mean, there's a number of ways we can multiply the content. But the fact is, if you want to start building trust, one of the best ways to do that is videos. And it only takes maybe a few hours of your time that will live on your website in perpetuity. I cannot stress the value of just basic video FAQs. And remember, I told you too about when they land on the website and they see themselves in the answer, they see themselves getting their questions answered. The thing that's been worrying about them, am I going to lose my children? I'm in a Medicaid crisis. I mean, any of the above. Once they see you on your website using your knowledge in a way that you've developed your personality, your professionalism, and you're conveying that message to a prospective client, you can bridge that gap. And we'll offer you the videos for free. Take one of our packages, we'll send you the videos, and we'll film them for you. And again, we'll eat the cost of the videographer. But I mean, so before we start getting practical, this is the type of things I'm talking about. I mean, videos are one of them, and if you do see yourself doing videos, I am happy to meet up with you and we'll figure that out. But these are the types of things, including videos, that any law firm can start implementing on their own. I don't like doing any of these sort of webinars out practical steps. I mean, theory is great, but I mean, give me the tools. Give me the tools.
Mhm.
What can I do? So sometimes it helps to have an outside perspective, and it's very difficult to see it when you're in it. It's the best way to describe most difficult situations. So even for you in your law firm, it can be very difficult to identify these trust gaps when you're inside your firm every day. I mean, so you want to, if you'd like help identifying the opportunities before we start making changes, our team can help you. And in actuality, I look at every website through the lens that a client would see it. I don't see it the way the lawyer would see it. I've been doing this for too long. So when we start working together, the thing is at the very start, I know very little about you, although that'll change quickly, but it's an incredible advantage to be able to see your content and marketing from a clear angle. I mean, my little Eddieisms is that most times I won't look at any of the notes on the client before looking at their website or any of their marketing materials. That's not because I'm lazy. I'm lazy in other things, but not this. I want to see what I'm pulling from your messaging before I check to see what the attorney wants their messaging to be, or even more so, what they believe their messaging to be. Because once I hear that corrupts my viewpoint. I say, okay, I can see that I can make that connection. I don't want their input. I want to see that website. I want to see what I'm getting as a potential client. And then I want to compare that to what the attorney's looking at and what they want to believe their messaging to be. So those are the types of things we'll offer you, especially if we start working together. I mean, if you ever book a call with me, we're going to spend a lot of time going over what your current marketing is and what gaps we're identifying. And because I've been doing this for as long as I have, and because I haven't had any experience with you, I can look at that from a clear lens and make very astute marketing specific references on how to change. So if you, before we get but practical, definitely book a call with us. Sit down if something's interesting you. I'm happy to work through this. We can get a package. Videos are yours. We'll get at least 15 of them. That's my piece, Mike.
Cool, cool, right on. Yeah, and so yeah, and to Eddie's point about videos, we're actually about to talk about why videos matter so much and how they matter so much. And just a little disclaimer on that, you don't need to have a call before, the week's end or before next week's end or whatever. But as long as you schedule and get on the calendar before the beginning of next week, then this offer is yours. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Committed.
yep, and
Committed. I will honor that, Mike. I promise.
And the QR code, as you can see, will be on the bottom right, just in case throughout you're deciding to do that. Okay, so how marketing builds trust. This is actually the meat of it. So we have these different channels listed out here. We got email marketing, video marketing, reviews and testimonials, social media, and your website. So each of them has a role to play. We always say that like, what we do is a complete package, right? There are things that like, oh, hey, I only do email marketing, or hey, I only post on social media. Like that's great, you're getting out there and you're taking advantage of those
Yep.
channels, but really they work the best together. And you'll see why here as we go through. So email marketing, what that does is it gives a level of familiarity. Wow, I nailed it on the first try.
I didn't think you were going to get through that, but good job, Mike.
So people trust what feels familiar, right?
Yep.
So if you're in their email, and let's be real, email marketing is not dead. It's honestly one of the highest ROIs in the marketing world. I think it's like you earn $40 on every $1 spent. It's insane because everyone has an email, right? Even if you have an email list of 100 people, great. Well, keep in touch with them, right? And so people trust what feels familiar. If you're in their email inbox, every single week, or maybe every month or every 2 weeks, whatever the case is, right? They are reminded about what you do, how you help. Maybe you helped them before in their past clients. They're reminded. I mean, Eddie talked about before, he had a divorce lawyer that he loved and loved to work with, and he couldn't remember his name, right? The guy did not keep in touch with Eddie, and so Eddie forgot. It just these things
Fact.
happen. You might
That
be
really
thinking
happened.
like, oh, like how could someone forget? I helped them through this
Yep.
thing. Like how could they do people forget? People
I did.
forget. It's just what happens. There's so much that we're being fed on a daily basis. There's so much that's taking up our mental space on a daily basis. People forget. And yeah, so email marketing, people trust what feels familiar. Video marketing. So this is the video FAQs. So it's connection, right?
Yep.
Why do webinars, why do people like webinars? Why do people like social media so much, right? It's because we can see each other. We feel like we relate to each other because it's the video aspect of it. I'm not there. Obviously, if I was there in person, that would be even better, right? If I was
Oh,
speaking in front of everybody in person, that would be ideal, right? But that's just not necessarily the world we live in unless you're able to do that every single day, which is great. I don't know how, but amazing. It's the connection. It makes our connection so much stronger because someone could watch a video and be like, "Oh yeah, like I feel like I know you because I know your mannerisms now. I know I can hear your voice, I can see your expressions. Like you maybe someone has a very comforting voice. I don't know. Like it's just there's that connection that we make as humans through video, and it's so powerful. And to Eddie's point, like video, you start with video and everything else like benefits from that. Like everything on this list, email marketing, video marketing,
yep.
reviews, social media, your website, everything benefits from video marketing. You can put it literally in any of these channels and it does wonders for you. But for this purpose, it's the connection between you and your potential audience. They already feel like they know you walking into your firm, right? Next we got reviews and testimonials. It's validation, like we talked about before how, reviews and can help with like credibility, but at the same time, like, do they help with like trust? Once you get a little bit of trust, suddenly those reviews start looking a little bit better. I mean, it was already 5 stars before, but man, those 5 stars are looking shiny, like there's that people trust what others have already validated, right? Which is why reviews and testimonials are so important and so, critical to get. But also at the same time, like you still need that trust, right? You need that little bit of trust. And that's why these things work together best than separate, right? So social media consistency. I mean, that's where your audience lives. Like, let's just be honest. People are on social media. The revolution of social media hasn't necessarily slowed down. People are still signing up for Facebook, still signing up for Instagram, probably still signing up for MySpace. I don't know. But people are out there and they're
Wait, why
still
wouldn't they sign up for MySpace?
Oh man, Eddie, don't date yourself here. And so people are still showing up on these platforms. And so you just need to be where they are, right? If they see, to go back to my point from before, if they see you making the effort, right, with your law firm, then that shows you care about your law firm, you care about your business, which means you care about your clients, you care about them, right? I mean, yes, there are some shady people out there who all they're in it for the money and that's it. Don't worry, the money is good. We're not saying money's bad at all, but when you have that consistent showing up on social media where they are, it's another thing that keeps you top of mind with them, right? And it's like, wait, for example, like why are influencers so popular, right? A lot of them do the exact same thing, right? You see the
Yeah.
streamers where all they do, not all they do, but a lot of them just walk around with someone following them with a camera and they just go places, right? Like why do they become so popular to others, right? It's just that they build that connection, right? And then now all of a sudden this influencer is promoting a brand and everyone's like, "Oh, I got to go get that stuff. I got to get that whatever that brand is," right? Why? It's because they're showing up where their audience is and they've built that connection.
Yep.
Can still do it, even though law firm legal social media content really isn't sexy at all. Sometimes it's funny, when you have certain stories, but it's really not the sexiest. It's still about showing up where your audience is. And the last one, your website's the clarity. Eddie talked about it multiple times today about when people show up to your website, like what do they see? Does this person get me? Does this person do what I need them to do? Like if someone shows up to your website and you're a family law attorney and the headline says, I can help you out with your legal troubles. Like what?
Yeah.
That's what are my legal troubles? Like that I don't think this person can help me out. Like I guess they can if they can help with legal trouble, but they help me out. It's just the clarity. Like when people land on landing pages, the headline, we always make the headline exactly what we want people to know. Like they're in the right spot. Um, yeah, it's all these things that people need to build that trust, right? And again, these things can work separately, but they're so much more powerful together because you see all the different things that they cover: familiarity, aha, connection, validation, consistency, clarity. Everything all together is just the package of trust, man. Anything from you, Eddie?
No, the next slide is my bread and butter, and I'm excited. That's my
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
copywriter, copywriter.
Yeah, I began this business as a copywriter, and I still have a lot of passion for it. I mean, it's definitely it's a skill and a love of mine. But at the same time, so this is the say this, not that section, not the eat this, not that, but say this, not that. And it is going to be very important, and it's going to connect with everything we've been talking about because law firm messaging unintentionally focuses on the attorney. This is I mean, now that so when we say this to an attorney, when I speak to a client of ours and I reaffirm the message that you cannot be speaking about yourself, the majority of the answers that I get from attorneys, almost to a T, is that their answers are almost as that they always put the client first. Everything we do is client centric. That's their mission. Perfect. I got it. Now, if you want to give yourself a quick test to see if you really truly put the client first, go look at your firm's tag or law firm's tagline or slogan. If it begins with any sort of personal pronoun, then you're immediately creating a situation where you are the center of attention. So the fallacy is that if I can show the client or the person that wants to hire me how much I care and how accomplished I am, then I will gain their trust. And this is just not true. And again, if you want this, I'll prove it to you right now, is that when you first heard the story of David versus Goliath, nobody imagined themselves as Goliath. You're the hero of the story. You always picture yourself as the person. In the same way that the person pictures themselves as David in the story, they want to see themselves in your website. The point is exactly what I just said, is that the PNC has to see that they are the center of attention. Now, I promised 3 tips, so it's a good time for Eddie tip number 3. Start all your slogans and taglines with a verb because verbs compel action. So you can see how this works out here on the examples that Mike put down here. Because, I mean, prospective clients care about themselves and their situation. And to go over any story. I mean, from any story you've ever experienced, and this is from Home Alone to Lord of the Rings. No one envisioned themselves as Mars or Sauron. Did I get Sauron right? Is that the bad guy in Lord of the Rings? Okay.
That's one of them, and we could go down the rabbit hole, and I could talk
Okay.
about,
Okay. Calm
Morgoth,
it down.
his leader. But yeah, yeah,
Calm
you're
it
right.
down. Mike is a massive Lord of the Rings nerd, so I just threw that in for him, and I immediately regret saying it out loud. So the goal is not to remove expertise, and we will never say that. The goal is to present expertise in a way that creates confidence and is built on the back of trust. Small wording changes will have a significant impact. So if you look at this, we've been serving clients for 25 years. A better way to say that, understand your options and confidently move forward with experienced counsel. Our award-winning legal team, no good. You deserve clear answers in a plan or even choose a winning team. See, notice I start with the verb choose a winning team. You're compelling action. You're the hero of the story. You're the one that has to make the decision. Choose a winning team. And by the way, you're bragging about yourself. You're just putting yourself at the back end of the slogan. The winning team is you. Choose a winning team. That is you. But the person doing the deciding has to read and see themselves as the center of even the sentence. I mean, I've seen this one a million times. We specialize in estate planning. How about protect the people and the assets that matter most? Take the action. I'm going to, by hitting this consultation button, I am protecting the people and my assets. I am connecting my desire to do something great with the desire to hit the consultation button. I mean, we provide comprehensive legal representation where the client is always first. No good. How about take command of the process and avoid costly mistakes? Again, this is just taking a situation where the client will see themselves in the very first sentence and what they have to do to get to work with you. And then it says, talk about the client before you talk about yourself. So the tip there is start with the verb. And the three of them, I mean, understand and protect are the 2 key examples of that in this scenario. But always talk about the client before you talk about yourself. Anything you
Yep.
want to add on this one, Mikey?
No, I think you nail it on the head. Is this making sense to everybody? Like, are these actionable steps like you guys are like, oh, okay, yes, like this is what I'm gonna implement. So again, one is like, yes, like I get it and that makes sense. Two is still a little confused about what to do.
And
And then
three is I'm going to
three,
change my tagline right now.
well, three at this point in the presentation is like, oh no, Eddie and I aren't doing so hot. So yeah, type of one in the chat if this is making, sense perfectly. Type of two in the chat if, this is, you got a little kind of on the fence about it. And then type of three in the chat if you have no idea what's going on, in which case Eddie and I have not been great hosts, if that's the case.
We had a good podcast one time, you and I, Mike. We were okay. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we had a
Lucy.
little,
Thanks, Maria.
we had some banter back and forth.
Yeah, we're all
We're,
right. We still
yeah.
talk.
All right.
Bottom
Bottom line,
line,
Eddie.
you ready? Listen, experience matters, credentials matter, expertise matters. Although we've bagged on Harvard and Cornell, no, all those things are all loud trust signals. They're just incremental gains compared to what you could. I mean, by themselves, they're just not enough to win over a potential client. So they should be layered on top of trust. They should not provide the initial foundation. So let the potential client see themselves in your videos, which, by the way, we'll still do for free with any of our packages. You're answering their questions and getting them to meet you on your terms. Like blogs, you're just answering their questions at their own pace. If there's resources on your website, resources that explain what the divorce process is like, or an elder law book that details what to do in a crisis when someone needs long-term care and cannot afford it at a late stage in life. These are loud, loud trust signals because they can see themselves being helped. I mean, think of the power you'll have when you tell someone that you can get them the care they need without having to sell their home. I mean, that's no lie. I mean, I make a lot of jokes, but I mean, if you're an attorney and you can look an elderly person and say, your home is protected, your children will inherit this one day, and I'm going to get you into long-term care. That is what's going to resonate with people. I mean, that gave me goosebumps just thinking about it. But you convey a
You
message
are
like
pretty old, so you're coming up to that point in your life where you're gonna hear that yourself. So that makes sense that you got
I
goosebumps
try
from
to
that.
say something kind and serious, and you have to make it an age joke. That's all right. I mean, not it's all right, but now I'm completely lost again. But despite what Mike is telling you, and despite him making fun of me for being old, like those are things that build trust with people. It's much more powerful. The CV, your CV is great. The expertise matters, experience matters, credentials matter. But saying to an elderly person, I can protect your home and I can get you in a long term care facility. That's going to be a lot higher than anything that's going to be on your CV, and prospective clients are always going to interpret everything through the lens of trust. The firms that consistently earn trust are simply just going to get more opportunities. I mean, more people are going to get to that consultation button. I mean, just from the basic element of changing your tagline to something that starts with a verb that compels them to show them by clicking this link, I am taking an action. I'm taking an action to better my life. I'm taking an action to protect my life. And all of a sudden, that those feelings of protection, they're seen through you. They're seen through working with you. So a small change can have a major impact. And again, that's what I got, Mike.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, this we have this few minutes here. I know we're 10 minutes short.
We did
We did
well
it
on
in
time.
50
I love it.
minutes. Yeah.
Love this.
But if anyone has any questions, please pop them into the chat. I'll leave this QR code up here for a minute if anyone wants to speak with Eddie further about
Yep.
identifying the gaps, the trust gaps in their firm. Um, you know, it's it's funny because when we were coming up with this topic, I was thinking, oh man, like let's just do something that's fundamental, right? And we're like, yeah, we'll just talk about, the things that everyone knows in marketing. Oh, if someone doesn't trust you, they're not going to do anything, right? But then we started digging a little deeper, right? And just kind of came to us about like, man, like if someone doesn't trust you, they don't care what you did in life. They don't care what you have done. Like they're not gonna take any action towards you because they don't trust you. And so this whole trust shapes perception aspect is just like I'm sure there's somebody out there who said that, maybe some Instagram guru or something like that. I don't know, but I've never heard someone say it like that. It's always just been hey, if they don't trust you, then they won't buy from you. Like, yeah, of course, but so if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put in the chat. And also, like I said, there's the QR code if you want to speak with Eddie a little bit more. Um, Eddie, anything from you?
No, I'm happy to meet with you. Link up with me. We can talk about your website. We can talk about the different content you're creating, the different avenues that you're marketing and what it's doing, and try to funnel them toward. I mean, everything. Only thing that really matters to us is you get more clients. I mean, content is at the end of the day, it is we're all we're trying to do is put more clients in your front door, more qualified clients, the right kind of clients, and a lot of that starts with these steps that we're talking about today.
Hmm. Absolutely. Cool. So I'm just going to read off the names and we'll see if anyone has any questions before we hop off here. So Aram, hopefully I said that right. Brandon, Cheryl, yeah, Eden. Let's see who else we got. Emmanuel, Jennifer, Kaylee, Lucy, Maggie, Necha. Is it Neca? Is that Necha?
I like that name.
Um, Peter and Steve. Anybody have any questions for us? You can say no if you don't have any questions. Say no, we're all good. And if so, then we can end this here
Even if you
gathering.
don't have any questions, thank you for joining us. Thanks for testing your time. I mean, the wonderful thing about attorneys is their time is so quantifiably valuable. So we're immensely appreciative and grateful that you would spend an hour with us.
Absolutely. And once this webinar concludes, there will be a quick little survey. If you guys are able to fill that out, it shouldn't take a minute. It helps us out because we do these webinars every single month. We do them sometimes twice a month, actually, most of the time twice a month. So
Yeah.
if you take that, it would be very appreciative of that. But
Thank you,
great.
Brandon. Thank
Appreciate
you,
that,
my
Brandon.
friend.
Thank you so much.
Oh, one other quick shout out. You and I are going to be in Houston next week. So if anyone in the room is in Texas and they're going to the Texas State Bar Conference, Mike and I are going to be in Houston. So if you just want to say hello or you want to tell us how much you dislike us or like us, any of them or the above, happy to have a conversation with us. So we'll be in Houston next week.
That's right. But all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully we'll talk soon. And again, appreciate your time.
Adios.